But we start tonight in Japan, where the ground has stopped shaking for now, but fears of more earthquakes and even a tsunami are still very much active. Rescue crews are desperately going through the rubble now to find survivors. Japanese authorities say the powerful New Year quake killed at least 6 people and left 6 others buried alive. More are feared trapped and hurt, and uncertainty remains high for the thousands of people holed up in shelters as experts warn of more aftershocks in the coming days. NewsNation's Brooke Schaefer is live for us now. Brooke, it's a very fluid situation, and it appears that the threat is still not over even now.
Yeah, Brian, authorities in Japan have since downgraded their warnings of a major tsunami threat. But tonight, there are still fears of what could happen as the week continues.
A shaky start to the new year on the western coast of Japan. More than a dozen major earthquakes hit the area on New Year's Day. The most powerful one, a 7.5 magnitude quake.
And the car is shaking, and so everybody was panicked.
The earthquakes prompting a major tsunami warning for Ishikawa, with initial fears of waves close to 17 feet tall. Surrounding areas also warned of possible tsunamis. People advised to rush to higher ground. The terrifying tremors happening around 4 p.m. local time, leaving a wake of destruction. Dozens of homes reduced to ashes. Fires broke out across the region, roads were shattered, and people were trapped for hours. More than 1,000 people reportedly stuck on high-speed trains brought to a halt because of the quakes.
It is quite scary, definitely. When you hear about earthquakes in Japan, you wouldn't expect one to actually experience one.
Tonight, reports say roughly 30,000 people are without power. President Joe Biden briefed on the earthquakes, saying his administration is in touch with Japanese officials, adding the U.S. stands ready to provide any necessary assistance. Japanese officials have since downgraded the major tsunami warnings, though they caution tsunamis and aftershocks could continue for the rest of the week.
The threat for more building collapses is the biggest concern. So again, we're getting rid of that tsunami threat hour by hour, but the aftershock potential is still there, not just for the next several hours, but potentially next couple of days.
Early reports say so far 6 people have died. That number expected to go up. Brian?
All right, thank you, Brooke. I want to bring in now our panel for more perspective on all of this. I am joined by Zhigang Peng, professor of geophysics at the Georgia Institute of Technology, and Jess Phoenix, a volcanologist and author of Misadventure, My Wild Explorations in Science, Lava, and Life. It's not every day you get to talk to a volcanologist. I want to start with you, Jess. A seismologist with the U.S. Geological Survey today warned that aftershocks could actually last months. Is that really possible, that it could go on for that long?
It is possible, and it's just a virtue of the fact that the planet is very active. The tectonic processes where one plate on the surface collides with another, they're ongoing. And that's because the Earth's subsurface isn't solid rock. It's actually molten. And that allows convection, just like in a pot on your stove. So the continued release of stress is going to have ramifications that, yes, can last for months. It's all very normal. It's something that we expect with our planet, and it makes it a challenge for people in affected areas to plan and stay safe for an extended period of time.
Professor Peng, Japan has fortified its building to withstand earthquakes because of how frequent they are. It's one of the first things I noticed with the video this morning, that so many of the buildings seemed to do well. I guess that's because in many ways they're a developed country. They had the building codes. It seemed like they were ready.
Absolutely. So as you noted, that because Japan had many earthquakes, so over the past centuries and decades, they have upgraded their building standard. So most of the buildings, as you can see, withstand the shaking. Obviously some have damages, and of course some of the older buildings could potentially collapse. And that's probably what you have heard, that there are some casualties. But just from, if you look at global perspective, a magnitude 7.5 of that size, and I have to say that for now, that the casualty and damage is much smaller than compared with in other places.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.